Hey, my food is cold. Reheat it,
Yes,
draw the bath, and give me a beer.
yes.
Hurry up! You're so clumsy. Why can't you get things done efficiently? You slug.
The abuse was hurled at me by my husband after a day of drinking. He sneered in satisfaction as he bit my lip.
I'm the breadwinner of the family, be the most respected. You can't live without me. A wife is expected to obey her husband. If you don't like it, show me your car. Half of what I do.
I couldn't take it anymore.
I'm leaving you.
Ha ha ha! You idiot! You're gonna con me in a few days anyway. A housewife? Unable to make a penny?
What a ridiculous assumption. Whatever. He'd know what a fool he was and who he turned against. I'm Kim, an ordinary housewife. I've been married for 5 years. My daughter Sarah is still a handful, but I'm basking in the happiness of parenthood. My husband, Bill, and I met at work. He worked in sales, and I was an administrative assistant in his department. He was the one chasing after me. We exchanged phone numbers at an office and hung out a few times. Was unsure about his forcefulness, but I fell for his masculinity and his proposal.
I will make you happy for the rest life.
After the proposal, he asked me to job and be a housewife.
My mom was a homemaker and my dad worked as a salesman in the family business. I want us to be the same as them. My ideal family is one where my wife the home.
He spoke enthusiastically and dreamed of creating a home, as his parents did. He wanted me to support him as a trophy wife. Although I found my work at the company rewarding, I believed his words of, "I will support you," and resigned from my job. When I thought about it afterwards, those were just empty words.
Bring me a beer.
My husband never moved from in front TV, directing me with his chin. If there was even the slightest deal, pounded the table. Soon after our marriage, his true nature was revealed. Bossy husband, no. It was an antique harassment. Even companies nowadays didn't make their female employees fetch drinks. Apparently, it was the norm for the silently obey the husband in his farm. Don't overshadow me. Make me look G. Don't embarrass me. I didn't know what kind of relation parents had, but it seemed to be common knowledge that wives were like servants to their husbands. In his mind, he was a hero. Wait, it was more like a slave.
Why is my dinner already cold? You must prepare a hot and delicious meal.
Because you came back so late.
No matter how late I come home, you must be prepared to welcome me back. Why don't you get that? I don't know what kind of discipline your parents gave you.
Then let me know before you come back at least. I can time your dinner accordingly.
Why should I be ordered by you, a housewife? I'm the one making the money. How should I know what time I'll even be from my boss? Does being a housewife make you lose sense?
I mean,
Enough. Reheat my dinner. And draw the bath too.
He brought up the fact that I was always late. The one who made money was the ruler. I was a parasitic creature on him. His values seemed to be based on money. Yet, he was incredibly carefree with,
did you go gambling again? I've been asking you to stop.
Shut up. Gambling is my hobby. None of your business if I do.
Sarah is still small. We need money childcare. I want her to start taking some lessons before she goes to kindergarten. I can't even buy her toys if you keep losing.
It's the role of a housewife to make ends meet. Stop being so hysteric. I'm already annoyed by losing the buy today. 1.
You should take Sarah to the park one.
I can do whatever I want with the mo make. Don't you cross me. You're just a housewife.
I was yelled at by an enraged husband. I never wanted Sarah to hear us argue. Yes, if only I could be patient. But there was an incident that pushed patience beyond its limits. It was when I returned home from out.
Why is my closet open? I remember closing it before I leave.
I got a bad vibe and checked inside. I was right. One of my bags was gone. It was an expensive and my favorite my mom bought for me. When I landed my first job, I was so excited to start working in a field that I love. She knew firsthand how I struggled job. So when it happened, she gifted me a bag. I had always cherished it, filled with the kindness of my beloved mother. When I asked Bill, he nonchalantly acted.
Oh yeah, that bag. I sold it online.
Sold it? Why?
Because you spent on something that was beyond the means of a housewife. It was sold at a quite good price. Designed to be some kind of design brand.
You're wrong. That was...
Anything you buy with my salary is mine. A housewife has no say in it if I 6 whatever. Know your status.
You are horrible. I have my own pair too.
What private life? You made me take care of Sarah all day. Tell me you were meeting up with a friend. You bought unnecessary things again. You?
I met up with my best friend from the university. It was something really important.
Anyway, you make no money, so you have no right to argue with me. I'm sure you can't.
He sneered at me. I no longer had any desire to argue who declared.
Let's see if I can win tomorrow's the money from selling the bag.
Our heated argument finally reached Sarah's ears, and I heard her cry from upstairs. I couldn't stand him anymore. My patience had drained out. I had endured desperately until now. If I just put up with it, it'd be, but I couldn't take it anymore. He even messed with my fond memory. Not only that, but our only daughter had heard us fighting. It made no sense to deal with him at all. It definitely had a bad influence, or there was no way she was going to become an upright person living with such a father. I was determined to leave him and my parents' house.
You're gonna come back to me somehow. After all, you're just a housewife doesn't make a penny.
He never said a word to stop us from. Rather, he was arrogantly assured that I would fail. He had already made up his mind that he would not take me back, no matter how much I begged him later. Let him be. I was determined to start a new life.
We are home.
Hi, sweeties, are you okay? Such Trouton, come inside. You must be hungry, Sarah.
When I returned home in a gloomy mood, my parents warmly welcomed me back. They told me to stay as long as needed, and they were happy to have their granddaughter living with them. The warmth of a home made me weep for the first time in a long while.
Sob, sob.
Now, sweetheart. You're still our daughter, even though it's been away.
Mommy, I'm okay, baby. We're going to be happy together. Dad, Mom, thank you so much. We are grateful.
Our new life had begun lovingly. Sarah had always been fond of her grandparent, so she quickly adjusted to her she seemed quite comfortable in the midst of all those people. I was so glad it was before she started kindergarten. I could send her to the same place from my parents' house. I myself had been feeling better. The stress from Bill had taken a core toll on my body without me even realizing it. I was able to eat double the amount. I enjoyed every meal just because Bill didn't scold me about the cold dish and told me to make better food. Naturally, I started to smile more. My friends were happy to see me feeling better. When the peaceful time had passed, I received a call from an unknown number. I felt a bit nervous, but decided to the phone.
Hello? Is this Kim?
I was astounded to hear the voice. It was my mother-in-law. She continued,
I'm sorry to call you out of the bee, and Bill are in such a situation.
Hi!
I need to tell you something. It's about your safety. Also, I've been meaning to apologize for not being able to make it to your party last weekend. Anyway, listen. Bill came to see us last night.
In summary, Her story goes something like this. He visited his parents to discuss the situation late last night. They found out that I took Sarah and home and were stunned to hear what he had to say next.
Kim left and hasn't even come back to the house. Thanks to her, it's complete chaos.
But Bill, I'm not sure if that's true. So you have to do the cleaning yourself.
She left on her selfish will. She should at least come back to clean up her mess. Besides, she's a housewife. It's her take care of the house.
You're being ludicrous.
She couldn't even do the chores in the time she was living there. She made up all sorts of excuses. Was still young. The reason she went back to her pair to reflect on her inability. She's gonna learn everything again from her mother and change her attitude toward me. And yet she's been neglecting the hoe over a month now.
Listen, have you ever thought why you...
What do you mean, Dad? Like I just said, it's because of her inability.
If you seriously believe that she come back to you, she is hurt that you look down on her.
Oh, whatever, Dad. A housewife obviously must obey her. She's supposed to support me, right?
You guys have been like that too.
No way. I have never been looked to your father. I've been caring for him because I respect the man, who works tirelessly for us from bottom of my heart.
And as for me, I truly love her. I've never thought she was lower than that. I don't have life as is without her.
No.
It's my fault if I made you believe husband is above a wife. I apologize to you and Kim. Before that, you must apologize to. And while you wait for her to forgive you, reflect on what you have done.
That's crazy.
He was completely denied his claim by his parents, who he was supposed to learn from. Even then, his idea remained firm. No matter how hard they lectured him, he adamantly denied his fault.
It would been okay if it stopped, but he sounded like he was coming to your parents' house to see you. He was like, I'm going to tell her. It made my husband and me worried.
It's nice of you to let me know. Thank you so much for your concern.
A part of us always worried that he was treating you badly, but we're very sorry for not telling the truth sooner. Whatever the situation turns out to be on your side,
Thank you. I'll come and see you once things settle.
Watch out for Bill. You never know what he might do if carried away.
Her warning was realized soon after, when I was out, leaving Sarah with home.
Hey, Kim.
Oh, no, Bill.
He approached me on the street. My husband, I see in a month, looked disheveled. His shirt was shabby, and his suit noticeably wrinkled. It looked like it hadn't been touched since it was built. Didn't appear to have a single ball removed. When I was at home, I never missed a chance to take care of his suits.
Why are you here?
That's my line. What are you doing out here in the day, leaving Sarah alone?
Well,
You're all dressed up, don't tell going to meet some guy? With the fancy makeup and tight ski, look like an Avon sales lady.
I'm just meeting my usual friend. What about you?
It is my business. I'm your husband. You must have bought these clothes on your salary. Don't you dare talk back to me.
He ranted as usual, but I had no reason to endure him at all.
I bought these with my own money. My makeup and shoes, too. How am I supposed to spend your money when I'm not with you anymore in the first place?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not, but I can see that you have used for instead of form, it should be form instead. That's why I got this stupid thing mail.
He confronted me with a paper bill.
Credit card payment. It couldn't be paid from my account. This never happened before you left.
Okay, got it. There was not enough money in his account to cover the amount. So there was a notice from the bank. He thought it was my fault for spending that money. A shallow mind all the way. I sighed in pity.
What's wrong?
I couldn't help but feel sorry because you're so stupid.
Stupid. How dare you?
Yeah? You're the breadwinner, so you bring in the money, right? You're too stupid to keep track of spending.
That's because you overspend.
I swear, I have not touched your There's no way, even if I wanted to, because you don't make that kind of begin with.
It seemed he was having a hard time understanding. I wasn't surprised. I explained to him in detail.
Your cheap salary was never enough. It wasn't a problem for a family of live normally on 4,000, but it was impossible thanks to your gambling.
My gambling?
You lost a great amount, and yet the following week you had to do it all over again. Of course, there's no money left in the account. I was making up the shortfall in my family's finances.
What do you mean by making up? How did you get that kind of money? You're just a housewife. No way.
Stop saying vulgar things. I earned from a normal job. You were the only one who thought I housewife. I was making money from a remote job.
I worked from home in between busy chores. The job had been given to me by my best friend from the university. She majored in the French language. She had a consulting company for the translation business. I steadily built my own career by being entrusted with small jobs. Sometimes I was out to meet her for meetings. My stupid husband never knew.
You said you were making up for my... Can you really make that much money doing a job?
He finally seemed to believe me, and with a pale face, I proudly answered,
It was very little at first. It's a kind of job where your experience is valued above all else. But I stuck to it and finally got my recognize. Lately, I've been able to get some projects. For this month, I'd say I'm at about... As I recall, the one who makes the most money is above the other, right? My salary is twice as much as yours, so I'm better than you.
Well, that's a good question.
I hate to say this, but I've done housework. I have been a single parent for over 10 years now, raising 2 children on my own, as well as working full-time. Can you even imagine how hard that you only work and gamble the rest one time?
He seemed to be shrinking. He couldn't have looked more pathetic, but the next second, he was on his back on the ground.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I had no idea you had been covering.
Covering for you? No way. It was a tool to free myself from you.
I sincerely apologize. Please come. The house is a mess without you. I don't know what to wear, and I'm tired of eating takeaways.
You still treat me as a housewife point. Seriously, you're incapable of learning to read. Pretty much every post you make is full of grammatical errors. Then you clean and cook yourself. You who make cheap income.
I quickly turned my back on him, who was now in a pitiful voice. I was on my way to meet a client for project, was dressed to impress, and didn't have time to waste on a man. I turned around as I'm walking away, more thought, showing a grin to tearful Bill.
I've seen a divorce lawyer. The divorce papers should be sent to time, not the credit card bill. Please, take care of it.
He grunted something, and this time looked back. A year later, I'm still working as a translator. My friend asked me to join her company, but I enjoy my work as is. I've got a translated mystery novel out with my name on it. Sarah started kindergarten. With the help of my parents, she quickly adapted and made friends. My in-laws told me when I visited once that Bill couldn't reflect on what he had done. He told people around him that he had gotten rid of a useless wife, which made his parents angry and with him. Rumors are flying that he's lost control of his gambling habit and is involved with a loan shark named Nov. Maybe he still insists that a husband is better than a housewife. But that's no longer any of my business. I, with my parents and Sarah, will warm family of 4